Yo, welcome back, I'm Clay, and today I'm going to show you how to not use the plasma gun. That's, oh no, oh no! Oh no, not again. Oh, not again! So that's why I have so much anxiety when I use it, but don't worry, disintegrating yourself is a small price to pay for the Emperor, so you can delete even the strongest elites on the hardest difficulty. And as a bonus, it sounds really cool and has a great gore disintegration, which you really just can't get enough of. So I'm also going to show you the best possible build and what it can really do. And don't forget, I'm also doing a big giveaway this week that I'll talk about at the end of the video. For now, though, I'm lighting this off in the training room on tier 5 damnation difficulty, just so you can see how much of an absolute beast this thing is. And I also have a variant of almost every other gun at this stage that I'll try and show you in tomorrow's and future videos, but the plasma gun really deserves its own specific video. Just look at this thing's damage uncharged. And I know you shouldn't shoot maulers in the head, but who cares when you literally melt their face off? And no, it doesn't actually open a weak point up, but that was like one of the first things I tried. But it doesn't really matter with the amount of HP that he has left, and that was just the uncharged version. When you charge this thing up, it does ludicrous damage to anything in armor. And when you use your ability, it just starts getting ridiculous. And my plasma gun's only 387 power, so imagine a big PP version of this gun with real perks on it. You would actually just be deleting everything, and even at this power level, I still delete everything. Just look at this crusher getting absolutely slapped. The only problem is the first game you take this thing into, you'll probably disintegrate yourself like I did, because I'm used to spamming shots off with my other gun, and one extra shot is literally you exploding in a blue glorious plasma fireball. That added level of impending doom that psychers get to the gameplay loop is actually pretty enjoyable, but that's also why a proper build ends up being so important for this thing. So if you're going to use the plasma gun, I really do recommend this build. I've tried tons of combinations, but after testing everything, this ended up being the absolute best. So I start with confirmed kill. Melee or range is just insanely clutch for you because you're just elite hunting almost the entire game. And on the second row, reload speed or sniper are both good. My problem with sniper is you have to be really far away from max damage, and plasma gun actually has damage fall off after a certain distance, so you'll never be able to get the full benefit, but it still isn't bad, and it was about like a 10 to 15% increase on average, but I ended up taking the reload speed, and you'll see its importance after I'm done talking about the feats. Now the third row, bio-optic targeting for team play, is just too good to not take. It's just hard carries, especially if you play with random people a lot, and even if you're talking to people, it just adds a level of perception that really can't be replaced. And on the fourth row, camo expert lets you post up and pop off. It's probably the most important talent to take just as a veteran sharpshooter in general. And on the fifth row, 30% reload speed on elite kill. Definitely needed on the plasma gun. And on the last row, it's easily the bigger they are on higher difficulties and counter fire on lower difficulties, simply because of the amount of ogrins and monstrosities you end up running into in higher tiers. Now, just to show you the difference on the insane value you're actually getting with the bigger they are perk, we actually end up overcapping damage on the crusher, so we don't even actually see what it can really do. You already saw what I did to a slimy boy earlier at the start of the video, and I actually do hope they add plague ogrins and slimy boys to this training room, so that way you can test your damage on them. Man, what a beautiful face this man has. In the background, I'm just going to run clips of me fighting a tier 5 slimy boy and a tier 4 plague ogrin. And after that, the reason we go full reload speed is because I know this will be a question, because most people just see bigger damage and assume that's always better. And this is almost always wrong when you're using a weapon like this. The reload actually vents all the heat out of the gun instantly without damaging you. And if you manually vent it from orange to red, you actually just take damage. And on 4 and 5 difficulties, that constant chip damage really starts adding up. So it's just not worth it. And these extra frames you get on the reload speed make a massive difference in just gameplay quality of life. So it just lets you get some more shots off overall and protects your HP bar. So with 50% reload speed, you get massive reduction all the way down to 5.5 seconds. At 30%, it's 6.5, 20%, it's like 7 something, and at 0%, it's 9, which I know doesn't really make sense, but I literally have the timers on screen, so it is what it is. So debatably, like I said earlier, you could drop the 20% reload speed for sniper, but if you overheat and haven't killed an elite, then you're kind of just stuck with an insanely long reload, and this could actually end up getting you killed. And since the damage on the gun's already so ridiculously high, upping the quality of life is just way more important to me across the board, because it is actually the best elite hunting gun in the entire game, at least until we get to see the melta gun. And it's literally just one headshot with your ability up on crushers in the tier 5 damnation training room like you saw, and that's with a pretty average plasma gun. So even with my like low tier plasma gun, you can really just see it's hard carrying against all the dangerous elites and one-shots them before they even get to the group, and you can really hard carry a lobby like this. And you only explode if you shoot that extra shot off at 100% with an R&B charge. You actually can't just by tapping L&B, it'll just end up venting itself and just do a little bit of damage to you. And I paired this with a power sword because honestly, the power sword just absolutely slays everything on the map the best. There is nothing better, in my opinion, for the melee weapons, just all around. This thing is disgusting. And it's just easily the best paired weapon for the bolter and the plasma gun for me, just because it lets you have that AoE control while also letting you go elite hunting. So you basically become the best in every single situation. And when you run into plague ogres and slugs, you just melt them anyways. Oh. It's like that, huh? It's like that. Okay, God. So there really isn't anything wrong with this build, and it's actually okay at dealing with scab shooters if you just tap LMB on it. But the only actual problem with the plasma gun in itself is that you can't aim down the sights. But after using it a lot, I actually didn't really think this was too much of a problem. And one of my favorite low-key things about the gun is just the design of it. It literally feels and looks like someone painted straight out of a model kit. I love it, and it has like the perfect vibe. Whoever worked on this just did a fabulous job across the board, and like, thank you. Plasma gun, everything I could have wanted to be. Same thing with the bolter. And as for stat line, I mean, bar line wise, because why on earth would such an in-depth game have a proper stat line? That would be crazy. But they did actually say they were working on real stats somewhere in one of those posts that I just really don't want to read again. So hopefully that ends up working out over time. And I think what I would want on my plasma gun after using it like a lot is just maxed out charge rate, thermal resistance, and damage. And the ammo and stopping power really wouldn't matter what they were at. It's just actually a really ammo efficient gun, so you don't really have to worry about too much there. And one thing that I was actually wondering is what other perks this thing can actually get on it. So if you guys get some screenshots of it, dump them in the Darktide channel in my Discord. I'd actually just like to compile a full Google Doc of all the weapon perks, because every weapon seems to have some kind of special perk just for it, and I really want to know what the plasma gun ones and the bolter ones are, because they're like my two favorite weapons in 40k, and I absolutely love using them in the game. They have the perfect feel. So I just want to min-max every weapon, and it's a lot easier to do it as a group than it is to do it alone, because it is actually kind of hard to see everything the weapons can offer with like the trash tier rotating shop and the requisitorium, whatever Officer Milkers items are. Like the shop is every hour and Mr. Milkers is once every 24. So I think that's a little too restrictive and boring. Like Milkers should have a gold reroll on his craftables for his special currency that I still don't know the name of and is actually starting to bother me quite a bit. And actually thinking about it, World of Warcraft did this in Shadowlands with something called Corruptions, where they literally just had to add a vendor where you could buy your perks off of it because so many people were quitting over just bad RNG systems. So hopefully Factshark does something similar and lets us buy weapon perks to put on our weapons for gold or special currency. And a lot of people are saying this might actually be the wrong live build of Darktide because of something that happened with Vermintide in the past that I'm not too familiar with. And I do think it actually might be the wrong build because I put like 40 hours on the CBT, and this just feels slow, sluggish, and clunky versus crispy, clean, and smooth. But I'd like to hear what you guys think of live pre-order beta right now. I just don't like when things stopping me from using my favorite guns, or even worse, venting my favorite guns. Oh no, not again. Oh, not again! I cry every time. The thing is, at least everybody gets to laugh when you go, oh no. But now we're going to talk about the giveaway. It's the 7 Gifts of Nurgle, which is me giving you a chance at a full Darktide game key or a Steam card equivalent if you already own the game on these 2 videos on this channel and these 5 videos on my alt channel. And this video too. So all you have to do is comment hashtag ZerkerGang and get this video to 1K likes, and you'll be entered in a chance to win. And I'll do the draw in like 7 days from now, as Nurgle would see fit with his special number. And everything else you need is going to be linked in the description. So good luck and have a great night. You want to see something cool, Maflak?
Yeah, dude. Hit me with it. Oh, yeah. King shit.